Imagine what it would feel like to do 3 extra transactions in the next 60 days. Just suppose that in the next 90 minutes you learn exactly how to do 3 extra transactions in the next 60 days. Now, what would happen if you knew specifically what to do, how to do it, and when to do it in order for you to do 3 extra transactions in the next 60 days? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do in the next 90 minutes, is learn how to do 3 extra transactions in the next 60 days. Hi, I'm Joe Stumpf, and because you probably want to do 3 extra transactions in the next 60 days, I intend to tell you specifically and exactly what you need to do. So all you have to do is do as I say, and everything will be okay. So I imagine that you're right here, right now. And where you want to be is over there. Because over there is where the 3 extra transactions in the next 60 days lives. So you're here right now and you want to be over there. And that's what my intention is to get you from where you are to where you want to be. Way back in 1936, a man named Napoleon Hill wrote a great book called Think and Grow Rich. And what he did was interview the most successful people at that time. The people like John Wanamaker, Walgreens, Henry Ford, Chrysler. The people who were the most abundant, most prosperous people at that time. And what he discovered was 14 principles. And if you look around today, you'll see these same principles applied to Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and the most successful, most prosperous people today. Well, what I'm going to share with you are 5 of the 14 principles. And you'll notice that they're woven into the whole fabric. It's the thread that was woven into this whole training program. So I'll share with you what the 5 are, and then your job is to listen to see how each one of these principles are woven into the systems that I will teach you today. Number 1 is a crystal clear vision. Number 2 is specialized knowledge. Number 3 is decisive in nature. Number 4 is a positive attitude. And number 5 is a mastermind alliance. Now, the more that you embrace these 5 principles, the more likely you will do 3 extra transactions in the next 60 days. Have you found that in the last 12 to 36 months, the market changed in your geographical area? Let's say that over here we're going to call this the old world, and over here is the new world. And just those terms, old world. If you had to find a couple of words that best describe the old world of real estate and mortgage, what words would those be? I've heard people say things like, if you had a phone, you could get a loan in the old world. And there's something that's happened, and we're now in the new world. And if you were to describe in a few words, what's the new world all about? You have to have a high FICO score. You have to have a job. You have to actually make an agreement to pay back the loan. And what you're going to learn is that because some of you have some old world skills, we need to get the new world skills in order to do the 3 extra transactions in the next 60 days. So whenever I get a chance to meet with an agent or a lender, the question I always ask is, you're here right now, you want to do the 3 extra transactions in the next 60 days. What are the skills that might be missing for you in order to go from the old world to the new world? And as I ask that question, here are things that I hear. Number 1 is the lack of focus. Number 2 is the lack of qualified buyers. Number 3 is a lack of systems to generate a consistent, predictable number of leads. And then number 4 is I hear frequently is I hear these objections like I want to wait, I want to think about it, I'm going to wait until the market comes back around. And maybe a 5th thing that I hear frequently is I'm just not confident, I'm discouraged, I don't feel real comfortable in this new world. I was thinking about that in relationship to my own personal training. I love to get up early in the morning and go out and work out, and I have a trainer, his name is Marcus. And not long ago, I was doing a race with the Camp Pendleton team, and I hurt my right knee when I was running downhill. And I said to my trainer, Marcus, what happened when I was going downhill that I busted up my knee? And he says, it was your technique when you were going downhill. He says, you ran straight downhill. He says, the way to do that when you're running downhill is to weave back and forth like a bicycle would go downhill. I said, Marcus, why didn't you teach me that before I went downhill? And he says, Joe, I've been spending the last couple of years teaching you how to go uphill. Now that you know how to get uphill, now I can show you how to go downhill. And I thought about that in relationship to you, that many of you have skills to work in a up market, but what's missing is the skills to work in a down market. And so what we're going to do in this training is I'm going to show you 3 simple systems that you can apply in this down market in order to go from where you are to where you want to be. The number one skill that you will learn is how to install business development systems. And the system that most real estate agents and lenders around North America know me for is our before, during, and after systems. So imagine if I was to go into your home and I'd look in your kitchen drawer and I would see your silverware, and there would be spoons and forks and knives. And the thing that keeps it organized is this divider, so it keeps it structured, where you have your spoons, your forks, and your knives. Well, in your business, your divider is your before, your during, and your after. And in this training, what we're going to do is we're going to look at each unit of your business. So in the before unit, it's where you do all of your marketing, your advertising, and your promotion. And your during unit, it's where you take your client from the beginning of the transaction to the completion of the transaction. And in the after unit, it's working with all your friends, your neighbors, your past clients, peoples, and your centers of influence. So what we're going to do in this training is we're going to take each section and we're going to develop a very clear goal. I'm going to give you some specialized knowledge. You're going to make some decisions what you're going to do. And then what you're going to do is you're going to approach it with a very positive attitude, and then together what we're going to do is we're going to produce a result in that unit. So, for example, in the before unit, the clearly defined goal is a 15-to-1 return on your money. So what we're going to learn is for every dollar that you spend, you want to get $15 back. And the during unit, you're going to learn for every person that goes through the process of buying, selling, or borrowing, you want half of them to introduce you to your next client before the transaction is over. And then the after unit of your business, we're going to show you exactly what it takes to get a 20% yield, which means for every 100 people that you know, like, and trust, who know, like, and trust you, 20 of them will refer or introduce someone to you during the course of the year. So when you put those three systems in place, a before system, a during system, and an after system, you have what it takes in order to go from where you are to where you want to be. So where we're going to start is in the before unit, and I'm going to give you the specific skills right now on what it takes to get a 15-to-1 return on every dollar you invest in marketing, advertising, and promotion. Now, after you're done watching this, I would love to send you my 3-day main event live program that's on CD, along with a 242-page workbook that you could follow along and learn everything we know about the before unit, the during unit, and the after unit. Now, I'm not going to tell you to order that now because you'll probably want to watch this entire training, and then when you're done with this training, you make the choice. If you can do 3 extra transactions based on the little bit of time that we'll spend together in this training, imagine what we could do if I could work with you for 3 solid days. So let's get started in the before unit.